Eso es lo que buscamos con Nómada. Entonces, si tienen proyectos, si tienen ideas, mándanosla. Ahí estamos en redes sociales. Bueno, sin mucho más, les presento a la leyenda, a un héroe para mí, para muchos, al señor Tony Hawk.
Hello, hello. What's up? Thank you. And it's to help communities to get skate parks in the area, to give them the resources and the funding, and to just teach them about the process and how they can work with their city councils and their governments to actually get the park built. It's fun because we empower the people that are trying to help themselves. And so to date, we've helped to build over 500 parks. We've given away over $4 million now, and we've learned a lot along the way, and we really helped. Our money, like the $4 million that we've given away, has been used to get matching funds and to get endorsements, and we've ended up parlaying that into over $100 million of funding to these parks. So that's been really good.
Where are these parks? Where are your old
well, up until last year, they were mostly in the U.S. because we're not established in other countries as a nonprofit. But now we've been working with other organizations like Skateistan. So we've helped to fund a skate project in Cambodia. We've helped to fund a skate project in South Africa. And I'm hoping to use that model to do other projects as well. I know you definitely want to do some things in Mexico, and so we're down for sure.
¿Quieren parques de Tony Hawk en México?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. I love you too.
So right now we've spoken about, you know, getting hurt, doing big tricks, risking. Tony Hawk is a family man today.
That's true. I have many children.
How would you feel? You know, you have a pro skater in the house. How would you feel if somebody comes and tells you, your daughter comes and tells you, I'm going to do a 900?
I would give her all the pointers of how not to get hurt along the way.
Total support.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I got very lucky that my parents were supportive of me doing something different and something that wasn't established or something that had no certainty for a future or a living. So I want to support my kids in whatever their endeavors are. My oldest son is a pro skater, Riley Hawk, and I think that's, you know, he loves skating, but he was surrounded by it growing up, you know, and a lot of times we didn't have help, or I didn't have help in childcare, so I would just take him on tour. So he would just be stuck on tour for weeks at a time. And a lot of times that would shy away a kid from that sport. But he embraced it and he really loves it. My other kids, they skate because their friends do and they like it, but they're not as serious about it.
But he's taken his own rhythm, hasn't he? It's very different than your style, no?
Yeah, he's definitely more of a street skater and he's very creative. And he's shied away from my sponsors, from my companies, and really paved his own way, and I'm proud of him for it. I want that for him. You know, I don't want him to have to be in my shadow all the time.
And you have the foundation, you have the video games, you have the clothing lines. How do you make time for that as a family man? How do you balance family and business effectively?
Oh, that's the biggest challenge of what I do. To be an effective parent to my kids and to fulfill obligations, to travel a lot, and I just pick the things that I feel like are the most important, the ones that I can include my family in, or the ones that I feel like will broaden skating's message, you know, that will actually have an impact on skating. So it's hard though. There's a lot of opportunities, and there are a lot of things I have to say no to, because I just don't have the time, and I feel like I owe it to my kids to be there more.
Do you have any actions that you do repetitively, or you try to do every morning or every afternoon or every night, to keep that family unit close?
Well, mostly I try to finish all the things, my obligations through the day if I'm home. I try to finish everything before they get out of school. So once they get out of school, I am available to them. And sometimes that's hard. I mean, sometimes that means like, as soon as I drop them off at school at 8 a.m., I go straight to my ramp and try to shoot video of like one of the hardest tricks I can think of and be finished by noon so I can do other things and go get them from school. It's weird to be a parent and be a professional skateboarder because it changes your whole perspective on how you approach your time. Because when you're a pro skater in your teens, your 20s, you just go whenever you want. Wake up late, go skate, whatever. Now it's like, okay, we're skating from 11 a.m. to 12:15. That's it. You better make it count.
How something kind of thought about, when you go to like a parent-teacher conference at school, do like other parents go like, hey, is that Tony Hawk?
Yeah, they do. What's weird is that they used to look at me with more disgust because I was obviously a skater, and they're just like, "Are you serious? You're trying to make a living off skating? You're being a responsible parent." And now it's a little bit different, but there is still that air of like, when are you going to grow up? And I feel like I'm as long as I'm going to keep skating, I'm not growing up.
We have culturally in Mexico, we have a very a lot of care for The Simpsons, and when you were on The Simpsons, that was I think one of the most important things because it matched popular culture. And then how was that experience being on The Simpsons?
That was the highlight of my career for sure. That was the coolest thing I've ever done.
¿Se acuerdan del episodio? Hola, Tony Hawk.
Yeah, exactly. When I got asked to be on it, I was honored and thrilled. I had no idea what it meant. And then when they showed me the script where I was like one of the main parts of this episode, I was blown away. I couldn't believe that I got to play such a big role. And it's still one of the coolest things. People still quote it to me all the time, even in Spanish.
Okay, so what would be your let's just say your final words, your words of encouragement for young minds, young skaters, young entrepreneurs in Mexico they're just trying to get by?
Well, I hope that, my message or the example that I've lived by is to follow your passion and to stick with it, and believe in yourself along the way. Like, you can only make small, measured progress in whatever you're doing, but there is progress. And if you look back at how you started, you're way better at it. But also, if you do love something, learn everything about it. Don't just stick with one aspect of it. When I started skating, I never thought I'd have to know what licensing is or what point of purchase is, or that I would have to learn to skate a handrail at some point. But I embraced all those challenges because I wanted to be part of all of it. Not because I thought I was cashing in. It was just because I was interested in it. And so, if you're choosing to do something, try everything that is involved with it, because it's going to benefit you later. You're going to be more prepared than the next guy to be successful. And for me, it's not about making money, like making lots of money, and that's the end goal. The end goal is to love what you do. And I absolutely love what I do for a living. Like, I would do this for free any day of the week, and I get paid ridiculous money, but that's beyond the point. Like, I am proud of doing it, and it makes me happy. And I think that's the definition of success, is doing what you love for a living. It sort of fell upon me. I was, the video game success was more than I ever imagined, and suddenly I was a brand, and then I started approaching certain opportunities like a brand. For me, it's more the challenge that I love. That's how I relate what I do at skateboarding. I love the next challenge, and everything feels intuitive to me. So if I'm doing something and it feels like a natural fit, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. But if it feels wrong, I don't do it. And that's what I've done skating all along. Like if something feels good to do, even if it's not the cool way to skate or the cool trick to do, I don't care. I'm in because I enjoy it. So that's how I relate the two. Thank you.
Sí, si las quieren hacer las preguntas en español, las pueden hacer en español y se les traducen. Sí, sí, sí.
For a lot of kids in Mexico, and well, I'm sure all around the world, the Tony Hawk video game series was their first exposure to punk music and bands like the Dead Kennedys and such. Is there a specific band or whatever that you've always wanted to have on one of the video games that for whatever reason you couldn't have?
Clash. Clash is my favorite, and their music is owned by different licensing, and it's just too tricky. But Joe Strummer for sure. Even a Joe Strummer song would be fine with me.
Hola, ¿qué impacto crees que tiene el skate en la vida de las personas?
I think skating has a great impact on youth. I think that in kids in their formative years, when they're young or when they're teenagers, skating can teach them self-motivation, self-confidence, and maybe something that, even an art form that they haven't found for themselves. So I feel like skating is a great way to have a positive activity for those who don't fit into team sports. And that's how I felt. I played team sports, but I never felt like I really fit in. And I didn't like that the team was relying on me. I didn't like that the coach was telling me what to do. I just wanted to go do something on my own, and skateboarding was it.
Hello. How do I explain this question? When you start skating, I think you didn't guess that you were gonna be a legend.
No.
How does it feel right now to be the role model of most of the 90s kids?
It's strange. I never approach it like that. I feel I want to be a role model for my children, and if that resonates beyond my own kids, then I'm honored. But I never chose this role. You know, I never wanted to be the representative for skateboarding. I'm happy to spread the message of skating and tell people the positive influence that skating can have. But it's weird. It's a lot of pressure. You know, I can only be honest and tell you how I feel about all the things. And I think the more the pressure for me is actually skating, because if I go to a skate park and I don't magically fly around and do 900s, people are like, oh, he sucks now. So that's a strange aspect to all of this, but I don't care. I'm still down. I'm 47 years old and I'm still a pro skater, so I can't complain.
Bueno, mi nombre es Alan y yo soy músico, skater. He trabajado en el gobierno, ayuntamiento. En el año de 1999, Tony Hawk hizo un video aquí en Tijuana, en la Plaza Monumental, y donó una rampa gigante. Y yo me encargué de que se armara aquí en Tijuana en ese año. Hicimos un evento, la invitación a él vino aquí a Tijuana. Entonces, entregamos una placa de agradecimiento, nosotros los que andamos en el skate, y aparte, más que lo importante es de que sepa él que la verdad el ayuntamiento nos dejó morir, la rampa desapareció. Ahorita yo estoy haciendo una asociación nueva y yo quiero que así él me apoye de nuevo. No involucro a gobiernos, ayuntamientos, nadie, o sea, nosotros solos.
Nosotros te apoyamos, déjame la traduzco todo.
Yeah. Well, when we did you're talking about the ramp from the end, right? In the bull ring that we built here. I was happy to donate that ramp to the city, and I never thought it was the people of Tijuana that didn't want the ramp. I mean, I knew that when I went to go visit, there were so many kids skating it, so I never blamed the people of Tijuana for that. And I knew it was a government thing, and I knew all that, and so I'm sorry if somehow my message got confused, because I never thought poorly of the people of Tijuana or the kids here. You know, I was always thankful that we provided something for a small period of time. So thanks for your help in that, and I hope that we can do something else, because Tijuana deserves more than just that one park. But it was pretty cool skating that park today. I'm not gonna lie. Like to be able to see all of these different skate parks in places in Mexico, like I went to the one in Juarez, I went to the one in Hermosillo. Just the fact that there are skate parks there, that says a lot about how far skateboarding has come.
Oh, hi Tony. Creo que mi pregunta es un poco parecida a la que del amigo. Tuve la oportunidad de platicar con Stacy Peralta en Mexicali hace 2 años y creo que esto está muy marcado de que el skate nació en Venice Beach, pero no ha sido apoyado aquí en Tijuana.
Well, it was when skating first came about, when it first started getting popular, it was hard to see it beyond Southern California, and that was just a fact. I mean, it was like it was in LA, it was hardly in San Diego, so it would have been very difficult to have it in Tijuana as well. So I think it was just more people thought it was all Los Angeles, Venice, and then it slowly grew from there. So it was hard for me. My skate park closed in San Diego, so I felt it. I know what you mean.
Buenas noches, Tony. Es un privilegio para mí hacerte esta pregunta. Puede ser muy sencilla, pero me imagino que debe de significar algo para ti. ¿Qué se siente o qué sentiste ese momento que a ti te invitaron a probar lo que puede ser la evolución del skate? Que muchos vamos a extrañar lo original, lo antiguo, pero ¿qué sentiste formar parte el día que probaste la hoverboard?
Well, the hoverboard is it's exciting. It's not what people imagine it to be. The reality is that it hovers this far off the ground, and you can't control how you spin or your direction, so you're along for the ride. But it's amazing that it's 2015, and Back to the Future predicted that we'd have hoverboards. We have them, so that's pretty cool. I'm actually going back there October 21st, because that is the date. October 21st, 2015 is the date of the hoverboard of Back to the Future, and they're going to present the hoverboards to the public that day. So I'm going back for that. But it's very heavy and it's very loud. But it's fun. It's cool. Thanks.
Señor Tony, ¿quién fue su maestro de skateboarding?
I didn't have a teacher. I made stuff up as I went. Because
¿Y qué se siente vivir de una moda y hacerlo realidad como tu oficio?
it's the best. I mean, you're a singer. You know what's up. It's amazing to get to do what you would gladly struggle, because it's what your dream is, and so absolutely, it's the best feeling ever.
Hello, Tony. This is my question. Do you ever think or say, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I've been working hard, and I just want to be relaxed enjoy my family, enjoy my money, and everything that I've done. Do you ever feel like that?
I don't feel like that because my motivation is not money. My motivation is progress. My motivation is to keep getting better and exploring new things. So it's not like I should, you know, because I travel extensively and I could be considered a workaholic, but I'm always up for the next challenge, and to see skateboarding grow this big and this globally. I mean, we're probably going to have skateboarding in the Olympics in Tokyo. To be witness to that is amazing to me. I couldn't just quit and not be part of it. It's just so much fun now, and you know, I never imagined any of this. So it's to answer your question, I think if my body tells me like forget it, it's over, then I'll know it's over. Yeah, I'll probably do it in a wheelchair.
Hey, hi Tony, thank you very much for me. You rock, dude. Well, my question is if you can tell me why to somebody like us it's hard to become a professional skater, or what is the issues with that?
Well, the issues with that is that there's a lot of competition now, and you have to keep challenging yourself. You have to keep getting better because you're only as good as your last video part or your last trick or your last competition. People will forget about you very quickly in skateboarding, so you've got to keep stepping it up. You got to keep risking yourself, and so it's harder than ever to make a living at it. And usually your window is very short. You've got maybe 3 to 4 years to make it count, and then it's gone. So you got to make it count. It's hard.
Yo, what's up? Do you consider the new generation to get like a sponsor to become like a professional skateboarder?
Do I consider what? Well, it's strange because skateboarding is popular now. So the motivation for kids to get into it is different than it used to be. Some kids are motivated because they think it's their ticket to fame and fortune. And that's not the right reason to get into it, obviously. And the kids that do get into it for that reason, if they get a taste of either one of those things, they lose their motivation. So it's a strange aspect to what we do, but I think that the kids who shine through, who keep getting better, are the ones that just love it. And I think that no sponsor, no money is going to change. But I don't, you know, that, whatever, I understand that was a total, that was a fluke, and that's not representative of people here. It's just something I remembered, and I regret ever telling that story, to be honest, because I don't want people to think that I didn't like it here. I absolutely love it here.
Dale las dos,
Hi. Who had the biggest impact in your skating career? Stacy Peralta, or who could have been?
Well, Stacy Peralta definitely helped me in the sense that he believed in my my style of skating when people mostly made fun of it. So it was really hard for me. I was young and I was skating and I was doing what people considered circus tricks, and it was not cool. So I was doing something already that wasn't cool to kids my age, and then I was doing it in a way that wasn't cool to the people that were doing it. So it was like I was a double outcast. And to have Stacy Peralta believe in what I was doing was a big deal to me, and it really gave me a boost in my self-confidence and validation that I should keep trying to keep doing what I was doing and to keep in that direction. So he definitely had a big impact on my career. In terms of evolution of skating tricks, no one's had a bigger impact than Rodney Mullen. Like he is the godfather of modern skating and is the influence to many of the tricks that I do now. I watched him do it on the ground. I thought, wow, I want to do that in the air. Thanks.
I'm Mr. Tony Hawk. My question is not about your video games, your foundation. I was born here in Tijuana. I raised here.
I still skate. I started skating when I was like 14 years old. That was like 1988. So my question is this: how is it different? I remember your videos competing with Christian Hosoi. Yeah, so I want to hear your memories. What's the difference here, the competing now, in back days, in the day, in 1980s?
Well, what's the difference? The difference now is the audience is much bigger. In the 80s, the audience for skateboarding were only hardcore skaters. So you were under a lot of scrutiny. And obviously, like I was competing against Christian Hosoi, people were divided. They said, okay, Christian Hosoi is all style, Tony Hawk is all tricks. You have to choose what you like. And what's that? Indie, tracker, yeah, NorCal, SoCal was the whole thing. So it was very divisive, but because it was such a small community. Now, skateboarding has transcended so many different people and so many different styles that I don't think that exists anymore on that level. Competing now is difficult because there's so much competition, but people love all kinds of skating now. I mean, if you look at the skaters themselves, like Ben Rayborn is a perfect example. He blends the 80s with the 90s, with new tricks, and everybody likes him. So it's a totally different era and a different appreciation of skating that we have now. And it's incredible to think that people will sit at home on a couch that don't skate and watch the X Games. That wouldn't have happened in the 80s. So I think it's cool in the sense that there's a bigger audience, but it just changes the landscape of what we do and brings a lot more people in. So I hope that answers your question. It's just different now. But being a full, being a grown-ass adult, like being a full-grown man and getting to participate still was something that we would have never imagined in the 80s, right? I mean, when in the 80s, when you were 30 years old, it's over. And now it's not over. Sometimes it's just the beginning, so thank you.
Tony, on behalf of Nomad, on behalf of Tijuana, Mexico, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Thanks for including me in every event. I loved it. Thanks, everybody.
Nos vamos a tomar un selfie con Tony. Entonces, los que quieran salir en el selfie, pues acérquense, levántense, vamos a...
What are we doing?
Thanks, Tijuana. Adios.